All right, so we're down to the last one here, 5:30 per mile for the marathon, and it's 2:24:30. Okay, that's the equivalent to 5:30 per mile. If you've seen my other ones, or if you haven't seen my other ones, take a look in the description. I've gone from 9 minutes all the way down to 5:30 in 30-second intervals. And if people want me to do a 5-minute per mile marathon workout video, let me know, which is essentially 2:11. Somebody put it in the comments. I actually don't get enough questions or feedback in the comments, so I appreciate more. And always take a look at my Instagram page. I now have a running Instagram page called Top of the Line Running. So I appreciate your follow there and support. And I post a lot of training videos there too, and I'm going to keep doing that as well. So that folks know about it here, so folks know about it there. So, but again, it's 5:30 per mile, and I also have fully detailed marathon training programs below, so you can take a look and see how these things are plugged in. I'll now have sub 4 hours, sub 3:30, sub 3 hours, and sub 2:30. They're all in the description, so you can take a look at them. They're laid out every day, every week, every month, and I explain everything. So if you're going to watch any of them, watch them from beginning to end, so you don't miss important details. I go through everything, okay? And I'm speaking from 2 decades plus experience as a coach. I'm a USATF certified coach, former competitive runner, and I've been fortunate enough to work with some of the best coaches and trainers in the world. So over the last 2+ decades, I'm also a Wharton trained and certified musculoskeletal flexibility therapist. So I'm here to help you run fast and stay healthy. I say that a lot, but it's important to reinforce. So with that, let's come over here to the whiteboard so you can take a look at the details. And if you've seen my other videos, okay, you'll see that there's a lot of similarities, but there's every 2 videos I make a modification to workouts to certain things. So you have a lot of content in these videos. And I've done a 5K series like this, I've done a 10K series like this, and I've also done a half marathon series like this, broken down by the pace. So you've got a boatload of detail in the description or on the channel. I have 200 plus videos already in training, and I'm going to put out a whole bunch more. I'm going to transition to middle distance stuff after this. And so if you want to see it, you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do that right now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss when the videos come out. So, but with that, let's get to this. So again, 5:30 per mile. And this is a hell of a milestone, okay? 2:24:30. That's fast running, okay? That's pretty darn fast, all right? So I want to take you through these. Some of these are similar, but some of them, these are brand new actually. So this is the transition or combination workout. I'm combining tempo running and hill running, okay? So in this case, and the logic behind is, so it starts with a 3 to 4 mile tempo run, okay? What that does is after warm-ups and drills and strides and all that stuff, and this is approximately, about marathon pace. So you do it at about 5:30 per mile, the tempo run, to elevate your heart rate, to help you transition into the workout, okay? Or it could be between 5:30 and 5:20, something between marathon and half marathon pace. So you do a 3 to 4 mile tempo run, elevates the heart rate. Then you take a 5-minute active recovery. It helps you transition into the next component so you can fully benefit from it when your body's already warm, okay? 200-meter hill repeats. In this case, you're doing about 6 to 8 reps. Some folks will do a little bit more, okay? But again, the same focus is staying upright, attacking the hill. Look for a hill that's relatively steep so they can run these. Focus on good form, high knees, pumping your arms. You jog back down nice and easy, and then you keep going, okay? And then even on the back end, if you want to add a couple of flat 200-meter sprints on the back end with an equal recovery as well, you do that too. They're all equal components or important components of speed development. And for marathon training, speed development is paramount, particularly when it comes to helping you become a little bit more efficient as an athlete, maintaining good form and stuff like that. The longer the race is, the more important keeping good posture becomes. So that's the first one, a tempo into hills. Okay, and this one in the last video, the first time I've incorporated this. Okay, next is a speed fartlek. Again, component of speed development. I'll say this too. Simulate it. So if your marathon's rolling, if your marathon's going to be like this, do these workouts like this to help you simulate the undulating paces and the different surfaces, okay? Different elevations. In the same token, if it's flat, do it on flat. I always encourage folks to do long runs and some of your harder workouts in kind of the same environment that your race is going to be in to help you develop, to help callous you and prepare you for that situation. If you have it available to you, obviously. Some folks live only in the flats, some folks live only in the hills. I get it, so you do what you need to do as best you can. So, but this is speed fartlek, okay? So I've had other ones with like 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy, but this is a variation here. So it's 2:30 hard, then 2 minutes hard, then 1:30 hard, then 1 minute hard, then 30 seconds hard. So if you add it up, 2:30, 4:30, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes and 30 seconds of hard running per set. You take an equal jog recovery after each one. So after your 2:30, you recover 2:30. After your 2 minutes, you recover 2 minutes. And keep in mind too, building towards 4 sets, so it'll be 30 minutes of hard running total. Okay, not every workout needs to be super long, but this is a key workout. And keep in mind too, as you go down after the 30-second rep, you only get 30 seconds rest before you go right back into a 2:30. So that's the transition from one set to the next. That's where it gets tough. But remember, the 2:30 is not run as fast as the 30 seconds. You get a little bit faster as the set goes on. So the 2:30 will give you a little bit of a break in the legs, but it's still going to be intense. But this is a great way of simulating an intense fartlek. So 7:30 times 4, 30 minutes of hard running. But you're building towards that. If you can only do 3 sets, that's fine. So not everybody's going to be able to handle 4 sets, and that's okay. So speed fartlek, that's number 2. Number 3 is the semi-long run, and I say this too. Semi-long run is about 60 to 75% of what the long run is, and it's a good idea. I encourage all the athletes to have a run like this that's continuous. So it's not like a workout where you do 3-mile warm-up, 3-mile cool down, and then you do 6 to 8 miles of hard running broken up into pieces. This is continuous, 12 to 13. I even have some folks go to 14 to 15. Simulating being on your feet for an extended period of time without stopping helps simulate the marathon, aside from the long run. So this is something you can do every 14 days. And but it's an also important component of the training. Easy pace. Easy pace is generally about 90 seconds slower per mile. So about 7 minutes per mile. But you can build into this too. You can do 7 minutes down to 6 minutes of progression. You can do that too. Or if you want to just run it easy, run it easy. The goal is time on feet. So, and that's the goal. Okay. Number 4. 2 different workouts. Longer reps now. We've gotten longer. We've gone from 800s. Now we're at 2-mile reps and 5K reps. These are the big ones. Okay. First one is 3 to 4 times 2 mile. Okay. 3-minute recovery. Okay, and this is how you do it. The first one you run at marathon pace. If you're doing 3. The second one, if you're doing 3, then you run marathon pace minus 5 seconds per mile. So 5 seconds per mile faster. So it'll be about 5:25 per mile. If you do a third one, then you do marathon pace minus 10 seconds. So the third one will be 5:20 per mile. Okay, if you do 4 of them, then it's marathon pace. The 2 middle ones are minus 5 seconds per mile. The last one's minus 10 seconds per mile. If you can build towards 4 of them. Okay. The other option is 5K, building to 2 to 3 reps. Okay. 3-minute recovery also. It's an intense workout, but the first rep will be at marathon pace. Okay. The second rep will be at marathon pace minus 5 seconds per mile, and the third rep, marathon pace minus 10 seconds per mile. If you can only do 2, you do marathon pace and then marathon pace minus 10 seconds per mile. But and that's still 6 miles of hard running. But if you can get to the point where you can do 3, that's a really good thing. Okay, and if you get to the point where you can do 4 2 times 2 mile reps, really good thing. Really good sign of fitness. But again, you spread them out over time. Okay, this is good mid-season type of transitional stuff. So if you're doing 20 weeks, this is essentially maybe weeks 12 through 17 or something like that. If you're doing 16 weeks, this is weeks 10 through 14 or something right around that area. Or 9 through 13. If you're doing 12 weeks, it's around 6 through 9. Week 6 through 9. So, but if you're only doing a 12-week program, I would cap you at 2 mile reps. I wouldn't do any more than 3 times at 2 mile if you want to do that. But there's also mile reps, there's 2K reps. And look at the video before this, the 6 minutes per mile. I did mile reps and 2K reps and broke it up for you. So if you haven't seen that, take a look at it. It's in the description. So now you've got 4 options of longer reps now. Okay. And lastly is the long run. Again, building towards 20 miles. Some folks will do more. And if you could do it 2 to 3 times, that's really, really good. And the last one being about 3 to 4 weeks out from the actual goal marathon, and then you kind of taper back on the long runs. Okay. Simulating the course again. If it's rolling, you do some rolling. If it's flat, you do some flat. It'll help prepare you either way. And even rolling long runs will help build enough strength to help make a flat race easier. But if you're running a flat marathon and you want to do rolling long runs, then I suggest you do flat workouts. Okay, you need to get the pace drilled into the legs at some point for something. Okay, if the marathon's flat. Okay, so there's a couple ways to do it. Easy to progression. In this case, it'll be 90 seconds slower, like 7 minutes per mile, building towards 5 to 30 per mile. Okay, progression run. That's one. Secondly, at 90 to 95%, which is 6:45 to 16 per mile. 6:15. So 45 seconds to 75 seconds slower per mile. another solid long run for 20 miles, okay? Or 10 easy and 10 at marathon pace. And again, I've said this in a lot of other videos. You can do this a lot of different ways. You can do the first 10 at marathon pace and the second 10 just easy to steady. You can do 5 easy to steady, then 10 at marathon pace, then 5 easy to steady. Or you can do 10 steady and then 10 at marathon pace. You need to know what it feels like to run marathon pace at all different points, okay? And you know, and doing it in such a way, if you have to break it up into 4 pieces, you do it into 4 pieces. But this is, at some point, at this level, you need to be able to run 10 miles at goal marathon pace at pretty much at any time. And you're building up to that point, even early season. So that way, building into a long run where you're doing a lot of running at marathon pace, it's a good thing. And that's not including like a simulation run. So I'll have some folks do a 14 to 15 mile, a very rare occasion, 16-mile marathon simulation run about 4 to 5 weeks out if there's no half marathon race available. Okay, and running 14 to 15 at goal marathon pace. That'll tell you how ready you are and what you need to do in the last 4 to 5 weeks to put the finishing pieces together to the training. So, hope you found this helpful. If you did, hit the thumbs up. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. And take a look at my running page, Top of the Line Running. And train hard, train smart, be safe. Talk to you next time.